Hey my scrappy friends! So here is the sketch that I'm going to be using. I'm going to show it up better close. I'm going to be using this sketch from Paper Issues, and on Thursdays, this is for October, so they have a spot on their blog called Sketchy Thursdays, or Saturdays, Sketchy Thursdays, Sketchy Saturday, wow. And so I'm going to use that as part of my inspiration. I am also using a kit that I put together of my own stash. So I joined a part of the Scrap Stash Kit Club. Say that 10 times fast. So I'm going to be using the kit that I put together. Their kit for October is called Howl, and they have a deep purple, like a plum color, a mustard, yellow, a brick red, and like an orange color. So those are the colors that you're supposed to use to put together your kit. So I am in very need of getting rid of a whole bunch of my old paper, and I say old only because it's old to me, and I bought it when I first started scrapping. And I have a whole bunch of die cut with view stacks, and some of them you get like 4 pieces of paper. And of course I bought them when I was new to scrapbooking, and you see all this paper and you're like, ah, but I didn't really have much of a style. So I tried to, when I made my kit, blend old with newer old stuff to have that mix. I also know that this is like a fall kit, so I am doing mixed media to this. I took that background piece and I had put it on that cardstock just to give it stability, because I knew I was going to do stuff to it. And that paper is like newsprint. It's a newsprint of like advertisements and stuff like that, and like a yellowy color. So it's, the whole pack was die cuts with a view, and it's a vintage pack. And so I used gesso on it, and so here I'm using a red gelato. I figured that would go along with some of the colors, and so I heat set that so that I can use, and I also use a little bit of silver to lighten it up a little. And of course, as you see, it took a long time because that die cuts with the view paper is so thin that even though with the gesso it just soaked up a little bit more water, and I use a little bit more water maybe than times when I just take my brush. So I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with this, because I'm trying to make this fit my style now, which especially a lot lately I've been wanting to make my own backgrounds and use a lot of mixed media. And so here I'm taking my stamp and I'm gonna heat emboss some arrows, I believe I do. Yeah, because I use some stamps that I have that are Hero Arts, and they go along with one of the Basic Gray collections. So here you just see me putting the Versamark down, then putting the embossing powder, and I'm heating it up. Now, because this is really thin paper and it's a cheaper paper, I have to be really, really careful because it is wanting to scorch my paper. So I'm trying to be really careful so it doesn't make it too yellow, even though I know that it has that vintage look. I really don't want it to look super vintagey. So I had a hard time. I realized when I put my kit together, well, and a lot of it is the fall colors too, but I've realized my style has changed so much since I bought these papers that I'm having a really hard time even just mixing them with stuff that I want to do now with the colors. So here I'm taking a little bit of gelato, and then I'm going to take some of this Wilton food coloring, and this is what I use instead of using watercolors for right now. I have a ton of colors that I don't really use much in the kitchen. So instead of going out and buying, and I know theoretically I could find a cheaper set of watercolors, but I really like the colors of these dyes. And it's a gel, so it mixes really well with water and like with gesso or something else, or even the modeling paste. So I really, really like the vibrant colors. And because it's a dye, it just doesn't, the color stays a little bit more vibrant, and it doesn't, once you set it, it doesn't mix with other colors. So, which I like that. So I take my stencil, which is a, what stencil is that? I got it at the TMC, at the Crafters Workshop, I think. And so it has a whole bunch of like triangles and stuff and diamonds. So I just, as you've seen, I just used a little bit of the watercolor, and here I'm using a stamp, and I use a soft gold, which I do not like that color at all because you can barely see it. I don't know if the pack is old, like the pad is old, so it's drying out, or if it's just because it's a cheaper brand. I don't know. So here are my pictures, and I'm sorry I'm off. I did this a couple of weeks ago, I think. I made this. And so, sorry guys, that was my daughter in the background. She needed my help, even though it's bedtime. So I was off the frame, and some of my older ones I realized that I really get off the frame. So I'm sorry about that. All that to say that. So in this paper, this bag, which is an old like Scrubtastic kit bag or whatever, so like I saved the bags from my old kits, and so I just put a whole bunch of papers. I believe on the Scrap Stash Kit Club Facebook page, I posted a picture a while ago of some of the papers that I chose. So I chose a whole bunch of papers, and then I kind of like slimmed it down a little bit. So here's another die cuts with a view, and this is another one from the Antique, and I really like because it has the reds and it has the purples, and let's face it, I probably wouldn't use it really otherwise. It's a really bold pattern. So because of the sketch having like 3 sections, I really wanted to kind of stick with that. So I have the mixed media up at the top, and I'm going to keep my photos, I kind of move them a little bit more towards the middle, which is the empty space that they use where they have their photos in the middle. And then in the bottom, I have that busy pattern. I figure I'm trying to keep the busyness in one section and not overdo it. This is a Tim Holtz paper from the Ideology line, and I really like the paper. It's a travel line, but it's very distressed, and it's really vintage, and so there's only so many layouts I could use it for, and my style has changed so much. I'm not really into a lot of grungy stuff. When I first started, I used a lot of darks, and I like the way that they look. I just don't like the way that I scrap with them. So even with this layout, I like it, but I don't. It's one of those that I'm going to put in my album and be like, okay, well, I got those pictures scrapped, and I'm happy about it. And maybe when I look at it, you know, in a year from now, it won't seem so traumatically bad to me. I don't know. I like some of the techniques that I use with it, which is part of the reason why I show it. And part of the other reason is I really wanted to, because I really want to use my stash, and I would like to do some layouts with this kit, with this Hal kit, I thought it would be nice to show it. So here I'm etching everything in that soft gold again. It's so light, and some of those papers, the die cuts with the view papers, are really thin, so they're kind of hard, and I'm trying not to rip them because I don't really want it to be ripped. And so I just layer those, and that top red chevron-y paper is from the Pure collection, and I really like how that kind of brightens it up. At this that little card right there is a 3x4 card. I think it was a cutout card from, who made that paper? I'm trying to remember. It's like Kaiser Craft or something. It was one of their fall lines, like Close Knit or something like that. I can't remember entirely. But it's an older one, and I got it on sale. So here I'm doing my journaling on this because I really needed something light to do my journaling so you could see it. And it has like some browns and stuff, and so they kind of tie in. And then I'm not sure I like the journaling there in that small confined space, but I do kind of, I'm looking through and I'm trying to see what else I want to do. Oh yeah, and so I take the stamps from Scraptastic from this month, and they have a lot of like fall stamps in their one stamp collection that I bought. So it has some acorns and some leaves and some cute fall stuff. So here I am just testing it out, and that is pumpkin spice, I think. That's Hero Arts ink, I believe. And it's a nice fall brown pumpkin-y color. I really like the color. So I got it because I got some coffee stuff too. So coffee stamps, and I thought it would look nice. So here I'm just fooling around with trying to figure out exactly how I want those pictures before I stick them down, because I haven't committed to sticking them down yet, which is kind of unlike me, but so here I'm just fooling around, and I did put all those in crepe paper frames, like those photo frames, and that one I put on Pop Dots at the end. I really just wanted a little bit of dimension on there. So I do like how the frames look. Now these pictures are all from 2003. When I was in college, me and a few friends, we started a tradition that year of going camping in the summer, like all coming back together, because some of us went to different colleges at certain points throughout these like 4 years. And so we would come together in the summer and we would camp out. So this was the first year. So we went up to Tupper Lake, New York, which was about 3 or so hours away from where we lived. It's up near Lake Placid. And we just rented a spot, a campground spot, and oh my gosh, it was so much fun. So here I'm going to do a little bit more embossing just to add for some extra pieces. So I'm not going to explain what I'm doing here. I'm going to continue talking about my photos. It's pretty self-explanatory, especially since I did it before. And I do use some gold. I use some Lindy Stamp Gang. I have some gold. And I like it, but I don't like it. I think there's a learning curve to it to get it really smooth. So, and I also think it depends on what stamp you're using. So I found that I'm not, sometimes I like it stamped or heat embossed, and then sometimes I'm not sure I like it. On this one, when I did this arrow, I didn't care for it. It didn't come together enough. So I don't know if it needed like a heavier hand, or if I took too long to heat it. I'm not really sure. So I've been playing around with it a few times, and I just got to keep playing with it to figure it out how I like it the best. But this paper is a thinner paper. This is Studio Calco that way, and it scorches really easy. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I can tell, and it was scorching quite a bit just because I think it was a little bit thinner. So yeah, so these pictures are from that camping trip, and we had so much fun. I mean, it was really, really nice for, especially as college students who, like, I lived at home at this point in college, and so it was just so nice to get away for, you know, like 4 or so days away from the family and to drive away, you know. I mean, when you're that young and you're in school and stuff, and you're first getting away, it's just nice to get away from home, away from some of the things that you know, and to just have an adventure. So I lost my train of thought, guys. And it's not even that late. It's like not quite 9:30. Too. Okay, so yeah, we had so much fun. And in the pictures, you'll see close-ups of my friend and a couple of my friends and my brother. And then there's a picture of Shish Kabobs, which is part of the title of Kabobs and Toads, because the first night that we got there, we had brought meat that we had already marinated in this special marinade that my friend's mom does. And we were going to cook it, but we didn't get enough camp wood or something. I'm not exactly sure. And this is why you need to scrap stuff like this right away, right? So you remember all the details. So we couldn't... by the time we got everything situated, like the tent up and everything taken out, it was dark and we couldn't see, and I don't think we had enough charcoal or something, so we had one of those little like I want to say desktop, but like the tabletop grills, so it was really small. And we are trying to cook a whole, like we had like probably 2 pounds of meat of like kebabs and stuff that we were gonna cook. And so we're trying to cook these on a not very hot grill that none of us knew how to start and everything. So we're like, I don't think we had wood, and we had like a little bit of, we didn't have any starter fluid either or anything. So we get the grill going and it like burns the outside, and because it's dark we can't see when stuff is done. So it like burns the outside practically. So like we're chewing on this and we realize, oh my gosh, these things aren't done. And it was just so funny. We had to throw them away pretty much because we like could only eat a few bites from the outside before we were afraid we were gonna get really sick. Oh my gosh, it was so much fun, and we'll always remember those kebabs. And years after that, we did them fine, but every year we talk about these kebabs that we didn't cook very well. So it's just one of those things, that memories that you have, you know, of vacations and trips and stuff. So here I'm actually using paper to put it on, right? But I knew I wanted to put the title there because in the sketch that's where the title is. And I pick Echo, what is it? Basic Gray or Echo Park letters that are like a white color with a dot, and they're really they're a nice size, but you can't see them obviously. So I do go back and I outline them. And then those smaller ones are from Fancy Pants. And some of those embellishments that I used, like the little chevron arrow things, those are from some of the packs that I want to use from the Nicole Jones 911 Facebook challenge, because she has a challenge that you should use 10 packages, which I have more than 10. And those blue, did I put them on? I don't think I put them on yet. I have these up at the top. I have those blue, they're not enamel dots, but they're kind of like enamel dots. And I want to use that pack up. I bought those for my brother's wedding. And they're a nice navy blue, so I thought that the blue would match really well. And this is almost done. I know I use some of the Mr. Huey's at the end just to sprinkle on, and I hand wrote the date. And because I outlined, when you look at the layout in person and when you see the close-ups, you'll see that you can actually read the title. It's just really hard from up over top, just because it's so light. So here are the close-ups, and I just want to thank you guys for watching, and I would just want to say hi to all my new subbies. I've noticed I've had a lot of new subbies lately, and I really appreciate everybody watching and making your comments. I love reading your comments and getting to know you guys. So I will see you guys later. Bye!